Saints made a sneaky good roster signing, bringing in Nyheim Hines to the practice squad. As we all know, Devin Neal and Alvin Kamara, they are dealing with injuries, and we don't necessarily know if Alvin Kamara is going to be available, but Devin Neal has already been ruled out by head coach Kellen Moore. So Nyheim Hines, he has been added to the practice squad to add a little bit of juice and a little bit of depth to the running back position. He is a very versatile player that has dual threat ability, being able to not just rush the football, but also receive the football pretty well. And in case you guys didn't know, he's continuing his road back from the jet ski accident that resulted in a torn ACL back in 2023, missed the 2023 and the 2024 season, but now he is a member of the New Orleans Saints. I think this is a sneaky good roster addition for a couple of reasons. One being, this is a player that does have some really high upside, and two, it's very low risk, very high reward in my personal opinion. Now, throughout his career, after being selected in the 4th round in 2018 by the Indianapolis Colts, the NC State running back spent some time with the Colts. He was then traded to the Buffalo Bills. He then spent some time with Cleveland, spent a little bit of time with the Los Angeles Chargers. And in case you didn't know, he is a player that did actually have a couple of big plays against the Saints in the preseason, had a couple shifty moves. This guy's got really, really nice agility, really good short area quickness, and I think that he's somebody that definitely could provide a little bit of something to the Saints offense, especially considering how thin the running back department is and how little weapons you have in general on the Saints offense. Now, Nyheim Hines, for him throughout his career, 84 total games played. He has 10 touchdowns on the ground, 8 through the air. He's really, really shifty. He can also provide some return ability to the New Orleans Saints. He can do some really good things as a kick returner. He's done some really good things as a punt returner. 4 total touchdowns in the return game. Fun fact, 2 kick return, 2 punt returns, and 2 of those came in the same game. In case you guys forgot, do you remember the Damar Hamlin situation and all that thing that happened? The very first play, the next game, Nyheim Hines takes it 96 yards to the crib. And then he doubles down later on, returned one for 101 yards. That was Nyheim Hines. I know y'all remember that play. I know y'all are thinking, oh, wait, hold on. I can remember all that. Yeah. That was Nyheim Hines. That's the guy that the New Orleans Saints signed. So somebody who I think is a sneaky good addition. He is a low-risk, high-reward player. He can do a lot of different things. He's somebody who can be a kick returner, a punt returner, a receiving back, a running back. He can literally do whatever you want him to do. And as he's trying to battle back from his ACL injury that he suffered when he got in the jet ski accident, I do think that this is a player that will not necessarily have a massive role for the Saints moving forward, but I do think that it's a role nonetheless that the Saints could try to carve out and figure out, hey, maybe we got a little diamond in the rough here, and maybe he's somebody who could be an asset to the Saints offense moving forward. Now, if you want more New Orleans Saints news, updates, rumors, live shows, and content every single day by Saints fans for Saints fans, I need to hit the sub button. But if you don't want all that and you just want to beat the Jets, or if you do want to beat that and you still want to beat the Jets, I need you to hit the sub button. We're losing in our sub battle this week. That's kind of embarrassing. The New York Jets beating the Saints. Are you kidding me? Let's take care of business here. Hit the sub button and let's put Patrick Seatman and the New York Jets report into the dirt. Now, for Nyheim Hines, in case you guys didn't know, some interesting things with him, some kind of fun facts, if you will. His rookie season, he actually, during the bye week, worked at a Bojangles in Raleigh where he was able to get a little bit of experience where he's normally a very high-volume customer. He was then on the other side of the counter, and as somebody who used to work in fast food, I can honestly appreciate somebody who's like, you know what, I want to be more than football. I want to have a plan after football. I want to know what life has whenever my days are over, and, you know, he loves Bojangles, and he's never shied away from that, and I think it's pretty interesting that he does have this really cool plan for life after football. I don't think enough people have that plan early in their careers of what happens after I go through my dream of pursuing X career. And Nyheim Hines, he gave a lot of credit to his dad, saying, I was always wanting to go to the NFL. My dad always told me, when you have an opportunity, invest in an asset. So to me, this tells me this is somebody who's smart, who has a good head on their shoulders. I think that he's somebody who can add to the culture and be a good contributor to the locker room vibes. He wants to own at least 5 Bojangles franchises when he retires from football. We've seen him work and do things there before. So I do think it's a pretty cool story, and I think it's like a pretty cool fun fact that he's a big Bojangles guy. I personally like Bojangles too. It's pretty good food, but unfortunately in Louisiana, what do we say? I think there's 5 locations, and none of them are in New Orleans, so unfortunately for Nyheim Hines, going to have to hit the road if he wants to get some Bojangles. Now, coming up, we talked about the newest edition of this roster. Now we have to figure out, how do we keep the ground game effective? How do we make sure the rushing attack is still a factor in this Saints offense over the last 3 weeks of the season? I got the recipe and I got the answers. Really quick, though, want to tell you guys about our holiday jersey sale once again. Remember, we were telling you they were 60% off last week? Guess what? They're 30% off this week. The sale keeps on dropping, so act fast. Click the link down below. You still will get these jerseys by Christmas if you order them today. Click the link down in the comments or description of this video, or just go to chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. We got the men, women, children sizes, the home, the away, the color rush, the throwbacks, the golds, whatever player you want. We got all sizes available, so make sure you click the link down below and act fast so you don't miss out on the sale. If you already missed on the 60%, trust me, you don't want to miss on the 30% off, because that will go just like that. I tried to snap with this hand. I can't snap with this hand. There you go. There you have it. All righty. The plan for the ground game is as follows. I think there's 3 options the New Orleans Saints can tap into in order to keep the ground game effective and impactful and keep that element of the Saints offense alive. So the first part is you got to have a healthy running back rotation. Obviously, we do know that Alvin Kamara and Devin Neal are dealing with injuries. Kendre Miller, he has been placed on IR earlier in the season, so he's been a non-factor for quite some time. Once again, disappointing, but we're not here to talk about Kendre Miller. We're talking about the future and how we move forward. In terms of running backs available, Audric Estime, Evan Hull, and Nyheim Hines. Those are going to be your players that you have available to or at your disposal. And I'm not trying to knock any of these players, but I do think when it comes to these 3 available options, Audric Estime is probably my favorite of the 3. I also think Nyheim Hines does have the ability to provide some spark to the offense. But again, I'm not going to sit here and say a few days after he gets signed, he's going to come to the Saints team and do a bunch of crazy stuff for the Raw. Like, I think that's a little bit rich to say, just because you have to learn the playbook. You have to get familiar with everything. So I think that when it comes to the running back rotation, you'll see mostly Audric Estime and Evan Hull get the rotation. I wouldn't be surprised if Nyheim Hines does get elevated to the game day roster and he is a part of the team on game day. I would be shocked if he was heavily rotated in, but I do think Audric Estime is somebody who's provided a nice spark. Evan Hull at times has had some really, really good carries. Estime does provide a little bit of a receiving ability as well. 3 catches, 39 yards. He's been effective when Tyler Shough has been targeting him as a check down option or even in the screens. I really like what I've seen from the running back room. In terms of filling in for the high-end talent that we have missing, I think that not disrespecting these guys, but the lower-end guys on the depth chart are doing a really nice job of filling in and trying to keep the rushing attack alive. Alvin Kamara, obviously, a lot of eyes are going to be on him and his status. Kellen Moore on Wednesday, speaking to media, said they're going to see how things go with Alvin Kamara throughout the week. Did not rule him out, already ruled Devin Neal out, but we're going to have to see if he is available. He's dealing with an ankle and a knee injury, so we're going to monitor that situation, and if we have any updates, we'll let you know. So, again, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Option number 2. This one is honestly not really even an option. It's just like a do not do. You can't force feed Taysom Hill. I love Taysom Hill. I will always be appreciative of what he's done for the black and gold. I personally believe he's somebody who should end up in the Hall of Fame. There has been very few people who have done what Taysom Hill have done, and those guys are in the Hall of Fame. Thus, I believe Taysom Hill deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and speaking too fast. I believe Taysom Hill is somebody who is truly a special player and a pioneer when it comes to football. That being said, I think he might be washed. I think it's fair to say he may be washed. 37 carries, less than 2 yards per carry. I mean, he's lost his step, man. And what we can't do is keep force-feeding Taysom Hill QB powers and keep going and see if it works. Like, at one point in time, you could honestly do that every single play. It was like the argument of the tush push. Like, could the Eagles drive all the way downfield and do a tush push and score a touchdown? You could have done that with Taysom Hill QB powers. Like, that was the original broken goal line play. So I just fear he might be washed. no disrespect to Seven, but he's old, coming off a major knee injury. He clearly doesn't have his step. Like, I think you just cannot force feed Taysom Hill. I think that would actually be a really bad idea when it comes to the Saints offense. Do you think he's washed? And if you do think he's washed, that's okay. We're not going to knock him. We're not going to tear him down. But do you think he's washed? Just give me a yes or no in the comment section. Share your thoughts. Embrace debate. Let's have a conversation. If you don't think he's washed, please tell me why. I want to have this conversation. I want to chat it up with the Who Dat Nation. All right. Option number 3, Tyler Shough. Yeah, we're going to be talking about using him as a rushing threat because in my personal opinion, Tyler Shough, he is not somebody whose legs are a tool or a fallback option. They are a weapon, and we have seen his legs and the rushing offense really thrive over the last few weeks specifically. Now, he's had 2 touchdowns on the ground. He's extended drives 9 separate times. So 11 times out of his 36 carries, he is either extending or finishing a drive, which in my opinion, I like that. I want to see him be a little bit more effective and a little bit smarter of a ball carrier, but I do think that he's somebody who is really, really starting to shine in that regard. I think the more we see, the more we'll see the more reps we see, the more opportunities and big plays that will present themselves because he is somebody, in my opinion, that's a walking big play machine. And as I said, his legs are a weapon. They're not something that just gets him out of pressure. They're not something that just extends a drive and gets you that 1 or 2 yards you need. No, we're seeing him take it 30-plus yards to the crib. We're seeing him avoid pressure, break 3, 4, 5 tackles, and dive for touchdowns. We're seeing his legs be the reason that the Saints are able to get those last few yards, draw the penalty from Carolina, and make the game winner from Charlie Smith that much easier. Tyler Shough's legs need to be a factor. I'm not going to go as far to say that he is a dual threat quarterback like a Lamar or anything. That's not what I'm going to say, but I think that he has that Josh Allen mobility where you can scheme up plays for him to have designed runs, or you can have him throw the ball, roll out, and if he needs to, just tuck it and go. Like, I think that Tyler Shough's legs are a really, really underrated asset and an underrated aspect of the offense. And I think that that's something that the New Orleans Saints will and need to tap into a little bit more often. Now, if you want more content in between these videos, hit me up on social media. Just search up Trizzy Trace on your favorite social media platform. I recently crossed over 4,000 followers on IG, so I appreciate you guys for giving me some love over there. And if you want more content, interactions, DMs, anything like that, hit your boy up. Trizzy Trace on X, Instagram, TikTok. I linked it down below. Y'all stay golden. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time.